Well, what's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy.
And I'm Jade.
And together, we are married for 7 years now.
Almost.
Almost. Still together, still doing this thing. And so, we hope you are doing well wherever you are, however you're listening to this. We are doing this late at night. It's almost 10 o'clock as we speak. Our baby's asleep. This is our routine. How tired are you right now?
Out of what?
You're like 1 out of 10. 1, you're about to fall asleep in the microphone. 10, you're marathon prepped.
I'm like a 5.
Like a 5?
Yeah.
I can work with 5. And so we worked with 4. And so,
what about you?
I'm a 10. All the time. Always.
All the time. That's a stretch.
Not all the time. But, man, we're so excited that you are here on the podcast, that you're listening. We want to take a second and just, celebrate something really good. I don't know if I told you this today.
What are we celebrating?
It's our anniversary. No, just kidding. This podcast has crossed 600 downloads today.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
For only, what episode are we on?
I don't know.
Okay. For having no clue how many episodes we've done.
I have no idea.
It's pretty good. And so we want to thank you guys for listening. We discovered that we have one fan in Australia.
Oh.
And so, g'day, mate. And that now that fan has left, they'll never be back.
Oh, wow.
But if you were watching from Australia, we also had someone in Germany listening.
Cool.
And so
that's
cool,
awesome.
Pretty cool. And so a lot of people are listening on Amazon Echoes. So we're just playing in people's houses right now.
Very
our
cool.
voices. And so, but man, we're grateful that you're listening.
And people probably think we have really bad accents because when I listen to us back, I'm like, whoa.
Like accents, like Southern accents?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Me too, or just you?
I think mine's worse.
I discovered something. I told you this the other day, and you're like, I've never noticed. I feel like I talk through my teeth, and now everybody who's listening will not be able to hear it.
What does that mean?
I don't know. There's something about the way my mouth articulates words.
I think you have a pleasant voice to listen to, though.
Hey, that's nice. One time I was on a sales call for that company I work for, and I was sitting there doing my presentation for the guy, and he said, "Man, you got a great voice. Like you should do radio or something," which I think is like a backhanded comment because I think they're saying your face needs work. Your voice, though, like you have a face for radio. You've heard that. So, anyway. We are grateful that you were listening. We've also got some reviews. We appreciate it so much. And so if you're doing all those things, thank you.
Thank you.
Tonight, I wanted to talk about gender roles.
Cool.
So let's talk about gender roles when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
And so I thought about this topic because I think you and I are a perfect test subject for this topic. Because I feel like we are flexible in those, not in our gender, but in the roles that we play. And so, see, this is the problem with having this conversation in 2023, is because you don't want to offend anybody. That's the last thing we want to do. But anyway, we're going to talk about gender roles as it comes to a marriage between husband and wife.
Yes.
And so, historically, what would you say have been the gender roles in a marriage?
What do you mean?
What are the gender roles in a marriage? Like, husbands have always been the breadwinners. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Like old-fashioned stuff.
Well, not old-fashioned. Just historical.
Historically?
Historically old-fashioned.
Okay, historically old-fashioned, the man's the breadwinner, and the lady takes care of the house and the kids.
Mm-hmm. What would you say now, it's 2023, what would you say the modern interpretation of gender roles in a marriage are?
I guess to do things 50-50. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And different cultures, I know, obviously, and people have different beliefs in different cultures and things. They believe different stuff than what Americans would do. But typically, yeah, I think the American dream has always been husband goes out, works, brings home money or the bread, as they say. Why did they ever start calling money bread?
I don't really know. Because food's expensive.
Hashtag inflation.
I don't know.
The meme's going around right now that said, what is it? I used to could put $100 worth of groceries in my trunk, and now it's in 3 bags in my passenger seat. Yeah. And I was literally went to Aldi and had everything in one big bag in the passenger seat. But yeah, so I think traditional roles have been that the wife would stay home, cook, clean, all that kind of stuff, and keep up with that. And so obviously in 2023, those roles have changed. Mm-hmm. And so I like what you said. It's more 50-50. Now, well, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if you were going here or not, but obviously things have to change because in order to be financially stable, most people have to have the husband and the wife working outside of the home.
That's a great point. So that brings me to my next question is why have these changed? And so your thinking is, it takes two incomes to live.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. Also thought about this. I thought about women's pay. I mean, it's just history. It's not a political statement. It's like women's pay has always been lower historically up until I think the past 10 years or something. It's like seen a drastic change in the opposite direction. And so actually some women are getting paid more in certain positions, especially like CEO positions, stuff like that.
Interesting.
So I think women's pay going up, like you said, offers a bigger opportunity for, a double income house or for a woman to, be the breadwinner or anything like that. And so
right.
If I was to ask you right now, 18 and 19-year-olds, 18 and 19, what percentage of those people are married right now at 18 and 19 years old? What would you say?
Oh, I have no idea.
Just take a guess.
What percent of 18 and 19-year-olds are married?
Are married right now.
I'm really bad at guessing.
Just try.
But I would have to say people are getting married older now. So I'm going to go low, like 10%.
See, I thought it was lower than what it is. It's 20%.
That was my first guess.
Well, you should have guessed it. Maybe you're not bad at guessing. Maybe you're bad at second guessing yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
That's your PSA right now. Yeah. Your intervention. 20% of 18, 19-year-olds are married right now. In 1960, guess how many were married?
80%?
See, a little high. I thought it was higher too. 60% were married.
Okay.
60% were married. So there's obviously been a big change in people getting older. So people going through college, getting careers, women included, going through college, getting careers, starting your life a little later. How old were you when we got married?
23.
23. And I was 44. Just kidding.
27.
27. And so I was an older,
Yeah.
I guess you were right around mid-20s, I think is probably average. But
yeah,
I think people are getting married older. And I think that is lending to, why gender roles in a marriage are becoming more modern. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I don't know how you feel about it. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that gender roles are changing or that people are splitting 50-50 work and chores and child rearing and all those kind of things. Like, I think all that stuff's really good. How would you describe our roles in our marriage?
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like it changes.
Okay.
It has changed.
Okay, let's do it this. How has it changed from year 1 to year 7?
Okay, so year 1, we were both working. I would say we were probably a little more 50-50, maybe. What were you thinking?
I think so. I think because we were both working out of the home. Mm-hmm. And so I think it had to be 50-50. Like we would both clean when we could, both cook when we could. ate out a lot, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so I think so.
And I was going to say, I think it shifted when you worked at home.
Yeah.
And I worked out of the home because you did all of the cleaning, all of the laundry, and pretty much all the cooking too.
Yeah. So that was a big shift. So when I left a full-time job as a salesman and I did a part-time job and worked from home with the wedding business. And so I was at home a lot. And if you know me, I probably have, you think I'm undiagnosed OCD?
Maybe.
And so, but cleaning and things like that were like a daily ritual, which it's my happy place. Cleaning.
It was nice. I came home every day to a clean house.
And so, yeah, I would definitely do that. I would cook. So I would leave early, kind of when you would. I would have to drive a little far distances, but my job itself was pretty short as far as the time it took. So I'd be home before you got home. And so, but yeah, it was a daily ritual. And then I left that job and went full-time at home. And I think I did everything that, as far as cleaning the house and all those kind of things. You was out there making money.
All the grocery shop. I just went to work and came home. And
yeah.
House was clean, groceries were bought.
Which I enjoy that stuff. I enjoy cleaning. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy grocery shopping. And did you know, traditionally, it was always the man's job to go to the grocery store?
Really?
Now, I think it was because women were basically like not allowed to be in public and all those kind of things for a while. But like tradition and history, I mean, I think men went to the marketplace and shopped and did those things. Women just kind of stayed home.
Totally fine with you going to the grocery store.
So, I love grocery shopping because here's what I do. And I am one of the probably few people in the world. I wish every grocery store everywhere would go to self-checkout.
Oh, no.
It is the greatest invention ever.
I hate it.
Because I can do things at my pace. I can pack groceries how I pack them. So I go to Walmart, put in AirPods, and I go to town. I'm listening to music or I'm listening to a podcast, and I am doing my thing and go self-checkout. I got a list. I mean, I'm in and out, and I don't talk to a soul at Walmart. It's the greatest thing, except they stop you now and check your receipt at the door.
Which is, I won't even go
Which
there.
is a whole other thing. But
okay, but get this. So I've never liked self-checkout ever. I don't want to do it. Stresses me out. I'm scared it's going to be like, I think maybe that's why I don't like it. I'm the person who the red blinking light's going to be going off and somebody's got to come over and help me. And there's a line. Like, it stresses me out.
Yeah.
But now as a mom, I can go in Walmart or Target. I have Teddy on my hip because he doesn't like riding the buggy. And I get up to the registers and it's only self-checkout. So I'm like one hand with Teddy, one hand trying to do stuff. And it like frustrates me to no end that somebody just won't open a register.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Life. So all that to say, we went on a soapbox on
self-checkout.
But all that to say that, like, yeah, that things changed when I started working from home full time. Now, 14 months ago, the most wonderful thing in the world happened. We received an angel from heaven. His name is Teddy.
He's precious.
He's the best kid in the world. There was a vote. All your kids lost. So we had Teddy, and we both became full-time at-home people. And so how have the roles shifted there?
That's hard. I almost want to say we're still kind of 50-50.
I think it went back to 50-50 now.
Yeah, because there's just certain things that I do and certain things that you do. I'm actually here at the house more because you do sometimes work away from the home just because you can get stuff done.
To get stuff done.
So like, even today I had to we have a little tornado that runs around and everything gets out of place. So like as soon as I wake up in the morning, I got to put everything back in its place. Yeah. The laundry piles up. His laundry piles up. I do a lot of the laundry, a lot of the just straightening, but you still do a lot of the grocery shopping, a lot of the cooking. And a lot of the deep cleaning, I would say.
A lot of the deep cleaning.
Because I don't deep clean. I just put stuff where it goes.
Jade's a straightener.
Yeah.
And a candle lighter. Or a, what are those things called?
Little diffusers.
Diffuser starter. And I can respect that, and I appreciate it sometimes. But then I'm like, oh my God, we need to clean these baseboards and
I'll
stuff.
Vacuum and sweep the floor, and you can mop them.
Yeah. But I do think so. Having a baby, being full-time entrepreneurs, owning our own business, starting a new business, like we have definitely, I think, gone back to 50-50. When it comes to Teddy, you have definitely assumed the role that I think is a traditional role, and I think it should be a modern role, in my opinion. Maybe controversial, I hope not. But that as a mom, you have definitely stepped up, and I mean, you take care of Teddy more so than I do on a day-to-day basis, I would say.
Yeah, I would say during the week, you do more of our editing and kind of the more intricate work of our business.
Labor-intensive stuff.
So I consider Teddy during the week to be more of my full-time job
and
do emails and stuff when he's asleep. But yeah, I do consider him to be my primary focus during the week for sure. And I like that. I'm happy with that. I like to do most of his meals and his baths and his laundry, and I like for you to come in and do the fun stuff.
That's good. That's good to know.
And that might be why you're his favorite.
That might be why I'm his favorite. He doesn't see all the laundry and stuff. One day he will.
You get to do all the fun stuff.
So that's kind of a return to traditional roles. Of course, you're still working every time Teddy's napping and stuff. But so here's a question, and it's just your opinion. Would you be okay as a 2023 woman? Would you be okay if roles were more traditional in our home than they currently are?
It's funny. The older I've gotten, the more I'm totally good with the traditional roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of memes and stuff on Instagram that's just like, hey, ladies, why did we want to go to work and be breadwinners? We didn't want to stay at home. And anyway, I'm totally fine with the traditional roles, to be honest, except the cooking, just because I'm a bad cook.
You're not a bad cook. You're just not great. But it's not that one. So I think you are seeing now, because it was, just a few years, just 10 years ago, it was this hustle culture. Hustle, 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 be everything, be an entrepreneur, woman, man, it didn't matter, just do it all. But I think you're seeing a slow return because everything comes back around,
it
people.
Does.
Like, we're not doing anything new that the world's not seen other than sending stuff to space and all this kind of stuff. But, as far as socially, we're not doing anything new. And I think we're seeing a return to wanting a simpler life, wanting more time with family. Now, what I am seeing is even men are changing their jobs, working from home since the pandemic. Like, things are shifting where men can be home more, which I think is a good thing. I think people are breaking that whole idea that I got to work 80 hours and to provide for my family and then die and then, all this kind of stuff. And, but there's more of a return to being together as a family. I think
so too.
I think I'm seeing that. And with that comes some more traditional roles that weren't bad. Sure, there was things that happened that, women were, ostracized in certain areas and certain avenues. Well, now we realize that women can do anything. They can do it better. They can, certain things better. Men can do certain things. Like, there's a whole thing there. And so, but I think there is a return to a simpler way of life, sharing responsibility. That's the beautiful part of it. And I love that you said, like, we were 50-50, things had to shift, and then we're back more 50-50, and there's different roles and shifts like that. And so I think, and what I'm happy the most about us is that I feel like our I say gender roles, but our roles as man and woman, our roles in our marriage are flexible. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably the best thing for people to embrace.
Yeah, for sure.
And so how do you think we have, because I think we've done it well.
We have.
How do you think we have done it well? What are some tips that people could have? Because here at the New Heights Marriage Podcast, we're all about the people. You know what I mean? We want to help you have a better marriage. And so what are some things that like we've done that you think have helped? I started thinking of some. Am I talking over you?
No, not at all.
You just like, please talk because I'm so tired. I was starting to write my list and I was like, communication, but I don't know if we ever really communicated about that stuff.
No.
I think it was just a natural flow into, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can communicate about what works best for your household.
Yeah. And I think we've done that in small ways, but we didn't have like a big sit down meeting and say, all right, you're raising a kid.
You're doing the laundry.
I'm going to work. You're doing the laundry. You've started doing more laundry, by the way.
I do a lot of laundry.
You've always done Teddy's. You're starting to do mine too, and I appreciate it.
Laundry is my favorite chore because you just throw it in and it does it for you.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that all the people who actually know how to do laundry are really mad right now.
No, I mean
there's sorting. There's blacks. There's whites. There's fabric softener.
I sort it all. Teddy uses different detergent than we do. We hang up a lot of clothes. I do all those things, but I'm saying, to me, it's the easiest.
Yeah. So that's your tip. Do laundry for each other.
No, I don't know what my tips are. What's your tips?
So communicate, but I think just being flexible. I think that's the biggest thing. Have respect for one another. I think that's something that we've always had. Just respect for one another, honor for one another. So I know that there's sometimes where you're going to have a lot of client work to do, and I have to step up in certain ways, or and sometimes that there's a bunch of editing and there's a bunch of this, a bunch of church stuff going on. I know that Teddy's going to be difficult some days, and I think just not having these crazy expectations about one another and being flexible in all that, I think has been huge. Respect and honor and all those kind of things. And so those are things that traditionally, traditional gender roles in a marriage get a bad rap.
Yeah.
As not having honor and respect, but that's what those things are built on. Mm-hmm. Those things are biblical things that was, husbands, love your wives the way Christ loves the church. Well, that's an insane amount of love. Like that's a willing to die, lay your life down. Wives, love your husband as the church loves Christ. Like so that's an insane amount of love. To know that someone would lay their lives down for you and care for them, and you honor them in that way, and so all that stuff gets a bad rap, but I think it's cool. I think we're seeing a shift in society right now where people are coming back to more not traditional roles, but traditional respect and honor and love for one another, and wanting something simpler and getting out of this me thing and getting back into our home and our household. And no matter which way you believe, or even political or religious or anything like that, I feel like everybody's kind of returning back to, I just want a simpler life. Mm-hmm. And I want a life that, at the end of this thing, it's like, hey man, I spent time with my kids. I saw my kids go through all these things. Me and my wife got along, or me and my husband got along. And there's, we built a beautiful partnership and relationship and friendship and all this kind of stuff. And I just think it's a cool thing.
It is. I love that.
Anything else to add?
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like it made it sound like you don't have anything to do with our child. And that's not true at all.
Wait, we have a child?
Yes. You spend a whole lot of time with him also.
Yeah.
Just during the week, during certain
I know
hours.
one thing that annoys you. And I'm sure other wives.
Not for this podcast.
No, not about me.
Oh.
Annoys you about other people when they, like when you're going somewhere, you're like at a church event, and I stay home with Teddy, and they're like, "Where's what do they say? Like they're like, "Where's Jeremy?" And you say, "Oh, he's with Teddy." It's like, "Oh, he's babysitting tonight."
Oh yeah.
And you're like, "No,
No.
that's his dad.
That's his dad.
He's raising his child."
Days with his dad. Like
So
it's normal.
that's a funny thing.
Yeah, especially with like, I think that was weird for my grandmother, which you got to think back in her day.
Yeah.
Roles were definitely, I would say, more traditional. She definitely took care of the kids, but definitely in the beginning when we had Teddy, it was always, "Where's Teddy?"
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, he's with Jeremy." "He's with Jeremy? What? Does he need me to watch him?" Like he had to. She didn't think you could watch him. I guess
That's funny. I can and I do.
You're his father.
Because roles are flexible around here at the Cunningham house.
That's right.
And so, but hey, I hope you enjoyed listening. We hope you maybe tell us which side of the argument you fall on with self-checkout. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this episode. And so, no, man, we're so happy you're listening. If you are listening on YouTube, man, please write us a comment. If you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, anything, man, just give us a review. It really helps. Really awesome. Share the episode. All those things are really great. Subscribe, follow, all the things. We're grateful for it. So thank you guys. This episode was produced by Cunningham Creative. If you've ever thought about starting a podcast, it's easy. We make it easy, and it's a beautiful start to maybe an awesome journey that you can go on. And so if you want to find out more, you can go to cunninghamcreative.online. Also, if you want to be on our launch team for future podcasts, we're getting really excited about some that are coming out soon. You can help other creators and other podcasters get an awesome launch to their podcast. Please go to cunninghamcreative.online, sign up, and let's see if we can help you reach your audience.